station of Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are the West.
When Nelson Cruz gets in one of his zones, there may not be a better power display in baseball. The moniker boomstick could not be more fitting than Nelly's current run, as the ball has been exploding off his bat. Fireworks are scheduled for the postgame tonight, but there is a distinct possibility Cruz gets them started early. Stay tuned as your Rangers meet the Detroit Tigers next on Fox Sports Southwest. Another triple-digit day in Dallas-Fort Worth, and the jet stream is blowing out tonight for Game 2 of the Rangers' brief three-game homestand, matched up again tonight against the Detroit Tigers. And welcome, Dave Barnett, along with Tom Green. A 13-7 loss. Did have a few bright spots last night, and chiefly offensively, the 2-home run game by Nelson Cruz.
You know, most hitters are streak hitters, but most hitters don't have streaks like Nelly Cruz has, and he's in one of those streaks right now. Since he came back off the disabled list, he's been a joy to watch. Last night, even though the Rangers lost the game, he was certainly a bright spot. Home run into the gap, and then pretty much a carbon copy of the tape measure home run he hit in Cleveland, all the way to the back of the visitors' bullpen. So two-run homers for Nelly. He stays hot. He's got a 10-game hitting streak going, and during that streak, there's not a better power hitter in the game than Nelly Cruz.
381 average, 6 homers, 12 runs batted in, 11 runs scored, and it coincides with a very hot streak by the Rangers last night notwithstanding. Tonight, Matt Harrison will take the mound and take his scheduled start. He still has not passed the kidney stone, not in pain when he was walking around the clubhouse before the game, and he opposes the very hot right-hander Rick Porcello of the Tigers. Lineups, first pitch next. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. By the Progressive Insurance Group for a money-saving car insurance quote. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. By Jack in the Box. Get the new Bourbon Barbecue Steak Grilled Sandwich now. By Citibank. And by Southwest Airlines. New Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Matt Harrison, fit to take the mound. Very well rested, too. 9 days off since he last worked May 28th against Kansas City. And the Southwest Airlines Tigers batting order for Jim Leland tonight. Again, Austin Jackson of DET Ryan at the top. Casper Wells batting second and left today with last night's hero, Brendan Bosch, almost hit for the cycle. Cabrera, Martinez, Peralta, Avila, and Rayburn back out there. And Danny Worth, who was terrific from the seventh inning on as a replacement last night, gets started third tonight.
Well, Matt Harrison, first time he's pitched in about 10 days, 9 or 10 days. Excellent season so far for Matt. Nice ERA at 3.26. 60 innings, only 49 hits, 229 opponent's batting average. His last 4 starts have been exceptional, a 1.65 ERA. Hasn't given up a run in his last 2 starts, and he's gotten a lot of double play grounders. He's tied for the most in the major leagues. A lot of those came in that first game at Yankee Stadium.
Streak of 16 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings as he takes the mound tonight. 6 scoreless on 5 hits, throwing 99 pitches when he last worked. And then he missed a start, not because of the kidney stone. That hadn't popped up yet. It was because of a blister, which is no longer an issue. The Geico quote on the kidney stone: the past 3 days, it has woken me up. I grab my knees and hold on tight. It hasn't been unbearable, just uncomfortable.
That's awful.
Yeah.
And he's out there pitching in a big league game. Hopefully he doesn't have to grab his knees while he's out there on the mound.
Well, Ron Washington has some experience with the kidney stone issue, and he said he'll know when, if and when it's coming through for Matt Harrison tonight.
Do you have any idea how long it lasts when you pass one? Is it minutes?
I think it can go.
Hour?
I think it can take a while. Yes, I think everybody's different from what I understand. But everybody with the Rangers confident that Matt would take the ball and be his usual self, and he strikes out Austin Jackson to begin the game.
Well, that's pretty good command of a 94-mile-an-hour fastball right off the bat. The ball came back and actually a pretty good part of the strike zone. Jackson just took it.
His 70th strikeout of the year. Jackson second to Adam Dunn in the American League. And now Casper Wells, who got in last night in the 9th inning defensively in right field. His 16th start. He's been pretty solid as a starter. Better than those numbers. And he sends Cruz back a couple of steps. He is out number 2. Defensively, the Rangers line up this way tonight. David Murphy getting the start in left field. Hamilton moves to center with Beltre Blanco giving Elvis Andrus tonight off. Kinsler and Moreland with Mike Napoli and catching Matt Harrison. They've had great results together. Blanco getting a start. Elvis a day off, with Ron Washington saying that he looked a little sluggish last night. And Wash said, I ran him into the ground last year. I'm not going to do that this year. So he gets the night off, and Andy Chavez does, because he fouled the ball off his foot last night and still a little bit sore tonight. There's Andy on your right. Here is last night's Mickey Mantle-like hero, Brendan Bosch. 5 hits, including 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in, and 3 runs scored. And he starts tonight in similar fashion.
The ball got in on him a little bit, but it still looked like a pretty good line drive. Bosch hits lefties pretty well.
That was his first swing of the night. 3-run shot into the upper porch. Next swing, deep. Wrapped it around the foul pole in the third. 5th player in Tiger history with that combination, and look at the company he's keeping there. Ty Cobb, Hank Greenberg, Charlie Gehringer, Hall of Famers, and Carlos Pena. So he's aboard for Miguel Cabrera, who had his usual good night against the Rangers. Just lost in the Bosch show last night. 2 hits, including an RBI double.
I guess the question you would have for Matt is he hasn't been able to do a lot in the last 10 days. He's had the blister, which has kept him from his normal throwing routine, although he has thrown some. Then he had the kidney stone, which hasn't felt that great. So I guess the question would be, what kind of command will he have? And so far, so good. Been right around the strike zone with all his pitches.
Well, if he's anything like the work he was putting in before the blister issue popped up, then he will be spectacular. His last 4 starts, he's 2-1 with an ERA of 1.65 and a batting average against him of 1.87. So he's been doing some of the best pitching in baseball. Last run he allowed was May 17th, the 5th inning at Chicago, and he had a shutout going in that game until that 5th inning.
Yeah, and then he had a game mixed in with all that didn't count. The rain game against the A's, where he had 4 shutout innings in that game.
That was 3 weeks ago. Oh, Ed Hickok says that was inside. Cabrera backing off, maybe trying to influence the call, and if he was trying to, it worked.
And it was a little bit inside. That's exactly what Matt was trying to do. Best fastball. It was 96 miles an hour. Catch Cabrera looking, but ball was a little bit inside.
So Bosch takes off, and he gets the call. Strike 3 with the breaking ball. 2 strikeouts, both looking in the first for Matt Harrison. Kinsler goes back to work in the Rangers first. Southwest Airlines starting lineup for Ron Washington's Texas Rangers. We'll begin with Ian Kinsler, David Murphy in Andrus' spot at number 2, then Hamilton, Young, Beltre, Cruz, and Moreland. And they have been a very solid middle of the order all the way through 7. Mike Napoli, who has a better number 8 hitter than Mike Napoli these days, and Andres Blanco gets the start batting night.
Nick Porcello was in the big leagues at age 20. 10 starts, good season so far. He's 5-3, solid ERA. Gets a lot of ground balls. He has an excellent sinker. Not a big strikeout guy yet in his career, but he should get a lot of ground balls. Since he's been in the big leagues, he's been one of the top 10 ground ball fly ball ratio, guys. He was only the 27th pick in the first round. That's because of signability. If signability wasn't an issue, he would have been picked much higher than that. So the Tigers got lucky. They picked him with the 27th pick, and they were able to sign him. And there's another ground ball.
Johnny Peralta handles it. Part of the Tiger defense, which looks this way. The outfield, Casper Wells in left, although he's got a right field caliber arm. Danny Worth gets the start at third. The rest of the infield as it was. And again, Alex Avila is behind the plate. Rick Porcello, rated by Baseball America as the #4 prospect in that 07 draft. And the Tigers got him at 27. So there's the Scott Boras effect. But also, he got him $7.28 million in bonus money. And that tied Josh Beckett's record for highest bonus by a high school pitcher. So financially, it ended up not hurting him at all, falling all the way to 27. And the Tigers picking him there, knowing obviously what it would cost, and they were up to it.
Well, they projected him accurately. A high school pitcher who would get to the big leagues quickly. Very little apprenticeship in the minor leagues. He was a regular starter at age 20 in the big leagues.
This ground ball finds the middle. Base hit for David Murphy. Coming off a 3-hit game Sunday, his best offensive showing of the year.
And right off the bat, you can see Porcello's sinker. Keeps it down, ball really drops, and when it does, he'll get a lot of ground balls. That's a good sinker. It's not a strikeout pitch. It's not meant to be a strikeout pitch. It's meant to be a pitch that you can throw early in the count, get your ground ball, keep your pitch count down. It's just hard to get it in the air when he keeps it down.
So 1 out, 1 on for Josh Hamilton. 1 for 4 last night. Porcello, not a big strikeout pitcher. He averages fewer than 4 per start. Josh's numbers pumped up by a 6 for 13 3-game performance at Cleveland, which included a couple of homers and 6 runs batted in. And since last July, he's put together that .377 average here at home. A ball and a strike. Rangers, of course, losing last night 13-7. The balls were flying out. 6 home runs. The 5th time this year at the ballpark there's been a 6 home run game. And this, in fact, at this point, is a record pace year for homers. Ballpark on a pace for 248 home runs. The current record 245 in both 02 and 03. 3.1 per game here, and that is easily the highest home run rate of any ballpark in the major leagues this year. Home run conditions tonight even better than they were last night. Last night, an unusual wind blowing in from left center field, and it's back coming in straight from center and occasionally right center tonight. The usual jet stream conditions here. And it is hot again, 97 degrees for our first pitch. That one gets behind Avila long enough for Murphy to take second base.
Well, David was waiting to see what happened with the ball. And when he saw Avila's back to second base, even though the ball wasn't that far away from him, he knew he'd be able to get in. Umpire kicked it a little bit.
That goes as Porcello's 5th wild pitch of the year. So Murphy scoring position with 1 out, and now a 2-2 count for Josh Hamilton. Jackson not very deep in center field. He can run down just about anything. Bosch very deep in right field. Hamilton delivering with runners in scoring position this year. One of the best figures in the American League. Wheat for the shortstop Peralta, an easy play. Porcello in on Hamilton's fists. It appeared Murphy does advance to third, but he's there with 2 outs now as Michael Young steps in. And Michael tried to end it 0 for 17. He has gone a little bit cold at the plate for the first time this year. 2 for 26 over his last 5 games, and his batting average has dropped from 341 to 312. Still 8th in the league. Still 7th with runners in scoring position at 377. Last night ending his hitting streak against Tiger pitching at 15 straight games. At well over 400. Good look at the Porcello sinker there. Michael also is still tied for second in hits in the American League. Adrian Gonzalez widening his lead by the day there. Michael trying to go opposite field. 1-2. Rangers don't have a whole lot of experience against Porcello. Michael 2 for 2 against him. But a ground ball right to Ryan Rayburn at second base. And Porcello gets 3 ground ball outs around the ground ball single up the middle by David Murphy. We're scoreless after 1. Time to welcome Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Dave. Ranger fans ready to go tonight, right? Huh? There we go. Looking to get back on track with a win. Community Corner tonight, though, we're going to talk about Bully Proof USA. That is Bully Proof USA, a nonprofit organization committed in battling bullying in elementary, middle school, and high school. Great organization. Take part of that. Learn out more about this great organization. Log on to bullyproofusa.com. That's bullyproofusa.com. Dave?
All right, Jim, here's Victor Martinez, the DH, who swings at the first pitch and is quickly retired by Matt Harrison.
Good job with the big guys. Cabrera struck out on a curveball. Martinez a little tapper back to the mound.
2 strikeout first inning for Harrison. Gave up a single only to the guy that apparently at this point cannot be pitched to, Brendan Bosch. Here's Johnny Peralta, the shortstop. 1 for 5 last night, doubled and scored in the 7th. That coming against Michael Kirkman, who was the second of 4 Ranger pitchers. Peralta having a terrific year. Leads American League shortstops in batting average, second in homers, third in runs batted in. And since April 22nd, which is a little before the Tigers ignited as a team, he is hitting .350. So he does down a little bit in the lineup. Somewhat what Nelson Cruz and Mitch Moreland are doing for the Rangers. Matt Joyce still leading the American League with Peralta right there in the 5 spot. And he sends that one into the left center field gap. Run down by David Murphy, moving from shadow to sunshine for the second out.
And Matt got that just far enough in on Peralta that it didn't jump into the bullpen in left center field. Got it just enough on the handle of the bat. David was able to run it down. Like a little bit of a cutter. And that's the purpose of a cutter, so that the hitter doesn't hit it off the sweet spot of the bat.
David almost completely in shadows out there, just in front of the warning track. From the corner out to the left edge of Greens Hill, the 404 mark. The remaining sunshine here at Rangers Ballpark as we play in the top half of the second inning. Ball 1 to Alex Avila. His 1 hit last night. The Tigers' 3rd home run of the 3rd inning. And their 4th and final of the night. Colby Lewis allowing 4 home runs, 17 now for the year, the most in the major leagues. And his account of the game, just like yours, Tom, afterwards, says, didn't make my pitches. This is what can happen, especially in this ballpark.
Yeah, he just didn't have his breaking ball last night. That's a strikeout pitch, and it just wasn't working for him last night.
Breaking ball here over the head of Hamilton and off the wall out in left center field. And Alex Avila has the second Tiger hit. He's got a 2-out double.
Hit that ball nicely. Breaking ball, it goes the other way. That ball shot out to left center field. Avila's having a nice year. Second full season in the big leagues. Waited on the curveball. Goes the other way. Nice swing.
Another hit by a left-handed hitter against Matt Harrison. And Tom explained this to me. Against right-handed hitters, they are hitting .203 against him. Lefty, they hit .304.
Well, I think, the reason I would give for that is that his changeup is very effective to right-hand hitters because it tails away. They tend to hit it off the end of the bat. And the cutter that he throws gets into the right-hand hitters very well. So those 2 weapons help him control left-hand hitters. The other side of it is he must not be using his breaking ball as effectively to left-hand hitters as he is to right-hand hitters. And without that ball, say the cutter on the outside corner, the left-hand hitters really haven't had the off-speed pitch to worry about that the right-hand hitters have had. That'd be my guess is what the reason is for that.
Ryan Rayburn, the right-handed hitter who has had great success against Harrison. 5 for 7, 2 of them home runs. And Matt still firing. 94-95. He has touched 98 on some guns this year. Gets that one right past him. 2-2. And Detroit, a team that loves to hit left-handed pitching. One of the things they do best.
Yeah, they've got some good right-hand hitters, and Bosch hits lefties better than he does righties. At least so far this year he has.
Another thing that Harrison has done remarkably well is handle the middle of the order 3 through 6. They are hitting .204 against him this year. The meat of the order is when he's been at his best. And he gets the call, strike 3, to dispense with Rayburn and leave Avila at second base, and Rayburn with his hand on his hip, wondering where was that pitch. Beltre to lead off the all skills baseball camp for ages 7 to 13, baseball mini camp for ages 5 to 6, and Rangers Fit teaching proper exercise techniques in 5 fun sessions for ages 7 through 18. Visit TexasRangers.com/camps for details. Prospective campers right there. Adrian Beltre leads off the Rangers second in a 0-0 game. He'll be followed by Nelson Cruz. Every at bat for Nelly is an adventure these days, and the same can be said for Mitch Moreland, who will hit third. Adrian last night with a couple of hits after a tough streak. 13 games hitting .204. Stuck on 43 runs batted in now for 6 straight games. That's the longest stretch this year for him without an RBI, and he grounds out to Peralta, who has thrown out 3 of the first 5 Ranger hitters.
And we're talking about sinker ball pitchers. Porcello in particular, he's faced 5 hitters. Every ball's been hit on the ground. He's doing a great job of keeping the ball around the knees and making it sink into the borderline area of strike or ball.
Well, here is Nelly Cruz, 2 2-run homers last night, including the 4th longest in the history of Rangers ballpark. So Porcello well advised to keep him down here. Gets another ground ball, though. Danny Worth handles the second out of the second inning.
He throws a slider. That was a slider. And a changeup. Sinker, slider, changeup. And in this game, his fastball, his sinker, has been 89 or 90 miles an hour. I have to think coming out of high school, he had more velocity than that. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten $7 million. And maybe he throws harder than that most of the time. But the other point is, with the movement that he has on his sinker, velocity is not the most important factor.
Well, as a matter of fact, that was his problem last year. He's so young, he's still growing, still getting bigger and stronger. And last year, for a spell, he was throwing the sinker too hard and wasn't getting the needed action on it. So he had to go down to the minors and retool a little bit. Get his arm slot back where it was his rookie year when he was 14-9. And then back up with the adjustments very evident the way he's throwing tonight. First 6 Rangers have all hit the ball on the ground. Only David Murphy got his through the middle. And here's one of the best in baseball against right-handed pitching, and he strikes out on 3 pitches. So the Rangers apparently tonight are getting the very best of Rick Porcello through 2. Southwest brought to you by Geico Insurance, where 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. And by AT&T, rethink possible. Scoreless into the third, Danny Worth, and then the top of the order, Austin Jackson and Casper Wells. Matt Harrison showing no ill effects from not having passed his kidney stone. His 30th pitch of the night. In there to Worth, who has not played very much this year. This is just his 8th game. And he hits a chopper to Adrian Beltre. Back to the top of the order for Austin Jackson, who was caught looking the first of 3 strikeouts, all looking from that through the first 2 innings. Tigers playing well, Austin Jackson hitting well. 8 for his last 20. Tigers have won 3 straight, 7 of their last 8, and have been picking up ground on the Cleveland Indians, who so far looked like they were going to run away with the Central Division, and now starting to come back to the pack. The Rangers helping the Tigers cause immensely by sweeping all 4 games up at Progressive Field over the weekend. So they picked up 3 games in as many nights and are now just 1.5 back. Chicago leading Seattle tonight 1-0 the top of the third at U.S. Cellular Field. A home run by Paul Konerko in the second off of Felix Hernandez. Philip Humber going for the White Sox. And Oakland losing again. 2-0 at Baltimore. A's batting top of the 6th inning. Oakland staring at an 8-game losing streak. Eaten up by injuries these days. Austin Jackson puts this one in play for Blanco, and he's got to gun it because Austin Jackson will beat out anything that is played half-heartedly in the infield.
If you look at Matt's season this year, he got off to an excellent start. After 4 games, his ERA was under 2. He was 3-1. And then he had a couple of bad starts. He had a bad start against Toronto, a bad start at Oakland. Pitched a total of 4 2/3 innings, gave up 11 runs. And then the turning point for Matt was the Yankee game, the start right after that. He got off to a terrible start, first couple of innings, and then he came back and finished strong with 4 solid innings. And I think when he got over that hump against the Yankees, that brought back the confidence he had early in the season. And from that point on, he's been pitching just like he did early.
Little blooper, Blanco not in time to get Wells, who runs well. The third hit of the night for the Tigers. Just barely.
Now he gets jammed and hits a little bit of a blooper. Blanco couldn't catch it in the air, but he did a nice job of catching it on a hop. On the dead run, makes a strong throw. Wells is just able to beat it out. Close play.
We're close to a tie.
Third time after 2 outs the Tigers have had a hit.
Yeah, and Bosch did it in the first inning. Avila with a double in the second with 2 outs. There's strike 1. Bosch now 6 for 7 this series. This is one of those something has to give, because Harrison has just squashed opposing number 3 hitters this year. Even with the single in the first by Brennan Bosch, they are 4 for 27 against Harrison. Number 3 hitters. Gave you the numbers 3 through 6, hitting .204 as a group. Only 2 home runs. Would one possible explanation for that be that Harrison is at his best such a good ground ball pitcher? Even the best hitters have a hard time elevating.
I think it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe he bears down more to the better hitters, but maybe it's just a small sample and just a statistical aberration. I really don't know what the reason for it is.
Boy, that one got into the stands in a big hurry.
I mean, Matt's stuff has been excellent this year. Mid-90s fastball, curveball, cutter, and a changeup. That stuff plays just as well to any hitter, 1 through 9. So the fact that 3 through 6 haven't fared well is either a statistical aberration, or he is just really bared down against the best hitters on the other team. But it's not that his stuff is better suited to face middle of the order hitters. That stuff is suited to get anybody out.
Low there, 2-2. Hopefully the fan just spilled a drink. Nothing more. That's what it looked like.
If you take those 2 starts away, those 4 2/3 innings, the 2 bad starts that he had, he's 5-2 with a 1.77 ERA over his other 8 starts. So 80 or 90% of his performance this year has been excellent.
So his good stuff just plays against anybody.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of any reason why a pitcher's stuff would be better suited to face better hitters. Because if the better hitters can't hit it, the lesser hitters sure aren't going to hit it.
Wells will be taken off here at 3-2 and ball 4. So the Tigers for the first time have 2 men on for Miguel Cabrera. And this is one of the last people you would want to see in a run scoring opportunity, although Harrison got him looking to end the first inning. Cabrera now 4 for 11 lifetime against Matt. He hits .460 on the year with runners in scoring position, second in the American League. And the Tigers, the only team in the majors with 530 RBI men. Some of those you would expect. Cabrera, Martinez, and Peralta, then 2 of the younger names are in that picture as well. Avila and Bosch. Gets a ground ball. And Nolan throws high.
That's too close for comfort. Don't do that.
Blanco brings it down and ends the inning. Andres, 2 fine plays in that inning to keep it still 0-0. To the MLB All-Star Game with manager Ron Washington. You'll receive a special ticket offer and get a chance to win a sweet night when you choose the Rangers as one of your favorite teams and cast your 25 ballots by June 30th at TexasRangers.com. Mike Napoli to lead off the third. You see the updated balloting, the entire Yankee infield represented with the center fielder and the catcher there as well. And here is Napoli, who has been doing everything the Rangers could possibly have dreamed of when they acquired him from Toronto. Although he joins the ground ball parade here. Tough play for Worth, and it is dug out by Cabrera just in time. 7 ground balls hit by the first 8 Rangers. Napoli, a .370 hitter over his last 7 games. Runs well for a catcher as a rule. 1 out in the third. Here's Andres Blanco, who has been playing a bit of late. This is 3rd start, his 5th game action out of the last 12, and he grounds just fair on the first pitch right down the line to Cabrera. 3 pitches to get 2 outs here in the third after Porcello retired the side on 7 pitches in the 2nd inning.
It looked in that at bat like Andres had made up his mind he was going to swing at the first pitch. It looked like the pitch was about 8 inches inside.
The Rangers' strategy, swinging early. And the first time through the order has produced only 1 ground single, that by David Murphy. Ian Kinsler set the tone, I guess, grounding to short, leading off the bottom of the first.
Yeah, there's the one you have to hit right there. That's the one that doesn't sink. Kind of like a knuckleball pitcher. Hit the one that doesn't knuckle.
Fairly rare curveball. Ian 3 hits last night, including the triple, and went opposite field, which Ron Washington took as a very good sign. He'll continue to do that. There's the Rangers' second hit and first line drive of the night.
There's a slider that stayed up and out over the plate. Those are ones you have to take advantage when you see a pitch like that. See if Ian was in the running mood right here. Close game, couple of outs. David Murphy be a great guy to lead off next inning. If Ian happened to get thrown out, if he steals second base, ground single could score him.
Wash saying last night was just what Ian needed to get him going, especially going to the opposite field, because if he starts to do that, maybe he'll get pitched inside more. That's where he's at his best. Close dive back at first base. Murphy grounded a single up the middle on a 2-1 pitch his first trip. Another curve outside. Porcello actually got off to a very rocky start this year, allowed 10 runs in his first 10 innings. Then locked it in. His next 6 starts, he won 4, lost none, with a 159 earned run average.
Yeah, you can almost say the same thing about Porcello. If you take those 2 starts away, what his season would be like. But, you know, you can say that almost about any pitcher, whether it's Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee. They've all got a couple of bad starts in there.
Instant replay for Murphy, 2 for 2. Rangers have 2 men on for the first time for Josh Hamilton.
That was a well hit ball right there. Hit that on the good part of the bat. It's a very rare pitcher after 11 or 12 starts who doesn't have a couple of clunkers in there. The ball was up just enough to be well in the strike zone. And even though Peralta was shading him towards second base, it's still in there for a base hit. Peralta is a solid shortstop on the balls he can get to, but he's a big shortstop who was actually moved to third base by the Indians before he was traded to the Tigers. So he doesn't have great range at shortstop. He's very steady, though. He makes all the plays. But as a big guy, he's just not one of the quicker shortstops as far as range goes.
Hamill trying to flip one opposite field. Well, the Rangers face Cabrera in this situation. 2 on 2 out. Porcello now gets the flip side, the last guy he would like to face.
And Matt made a great pitch to him, too. He's 2-0, a couple of fastballs, threw him an off-speed pitch. He hit it off the end of the bat.
That one will be run down in the gap by Bosch. Looked like just caught on the end of Josh's bat. So the Rangers get 2 base hits. They leave them both. We are scoreless through 3. Welcome Nolan Ryan, who will visit with us for a while. Nolan, good to have you. All the injuries that you battled during your long career, was kidney stones ever an issue at any
No,
point?
not for me, but I had a couple of teammates that had them, and it convinced me I didn't want any.
Well, what do you think so far of Matt Harrison?
Well, I'm real pleased with the way he's throwing. I was concerned that might have taken something out of him, but right now he's on his game, and so I'm real pleased with it.
Ball one to Victor Martinez.
Nolan, I noticed you've got Dave Oliver sitting next to you. Is that to have one more former big leaguer there in case a foul ball comes your way again?
Well, he tells me he can handle any pop-ups that come this way. You notice we moved Jim down a way.
Yeah, I heard Sonny say that last time.
Yeah, he told us that, and Ruth took a direct hit, and she's still not talking to him.
All right, well, it's on Ollie now.
Nolan, what do you think of Rick Porcello? I mean, he's really on his game.
Detroit has drafted all these good young arms, and they put a lot of emphasis on their pitching, and I think that's why they are where they are. And this year they seem to be hitting the ball better too. So I think as a ball club, they're just totally much better ball club than they've been over the last few years.
How about the Ranger draft, Nolan? What can you tell us about that?
Well, you know, it's the first time we've drafted down that low, and our guys really felt like the first 20 guys on the board were really strong prospects this year.
Ooh, that is a fair ball headed to the corner past the diving Beltre, and Martinez has himself a leadoff double.
And but the board was gone obviously before it got to us, and so we really had to kind of take some young guys that we liked a lot, but we felt like that the first 20 guys on the board were exceptionally strong considering the past few drafts, and so our guys felt good about it, but they also were a little disappointed that none of them were still available when we drafted.
Here's Johnny Peralta, fly to left on an 0-2 pitch, his first trip. Nolan, I know a lot of people were wondering, with Matt Pert coming around available again, what the Rangers' thoughts would be on him. And
well, obviously, with what's happened with him this year, him not pitching much and having the tendonitis in his shoulder, and the fact that he had only pitched a few innings here recently, I think nobody really had a feel for where he was health-wise and how that shoulder problem has affected him. And so I think everybody felt like that they wanted to sit back and let him drop some in the draft and maybe not pass on somebody that you liked a lot versus taking somebody that you weren't sure how their overall health was. So I think that was the thinking on that, and they'd put a pretty big number out again this year. So I think Washington obviously took him with the attitude that they were comfortable of trying to sign him, and they may have felt like that his health issue wasn't as big an issue as some other clubs might have thought.
3 balls and a strike for Harrison, taking a moment here off the rubber before going back to work against Peralta with Martinez at second base.
Nolan, we're getting into the season, a couple of months into the season. What are your thoughts on where the ball club is right now?
Well, I feel much better about where we are today than obviously we did 2 weeks ago when we still had Josh and Nelly out, and our pitching at times was erratic, and with coming off his last road trip, the way our starting pitching was and how deep they've pitched into the games, and our bullpen's gotten better. Natale's throwing more like what our expectations are, and his body language is much better, and I think he just feels better about his overall situation than say he did on that road trip in Kansas City and that trip. So I think overall things are looking up, and I feel much better about the ball club than where we were 2 weeks ago.
Well, Harrison comes back and gets Peralta swinging for his 4th strikeout. Here's Alex Avila, who doubled his first time up.
Nola, I'd be interested in your perspective, the difference between watching a game in uniform as a player and watching a game as part of the ownership group and one of the decision makers in the franchise.
There's a whole lot of difference. You know, watching a game in uniform is the time that you've done your work during the day and you're relaxing, just pulling for your teammates and hoping that things work out. But I tell you that sitting down here in the stands and being aware of all the issues and all the things that you're concerned with and just it's a whole different perspective. I compare it a lot to being a parent watching your child play and having all these concerns for them and wanting them to do well, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
How is it compared to what you thought it would be going in?
It's different. You know, you have expectations in your mind of what something's like, and then when you finally get into it and really, mainly if it hadn't been something you experienced before, you find out that it's totally different than what you anticipated. And so that
one falls in front of Murphy.
It's been very interesting. Certain things that I thought I'd be concerned with that I'm not, and then there's other things that I concern myself a lot about. And you know, as far as the guys on the field and knowing the impact that how the team performs, the impact it has on everything else in the organization.
Nolan, we get to see Alexei Ogando pitch again tomorrow. 11 starts in, he's still undefeated. Last pitcher in the majors who can say that. 6-0, a .220 earned run average. Has it crossed your mind what would have happened with him if Tommy Hunter had not pulled his groin late in spring?
Well, you know, we could only guess about that, but, you know, we probably wouldn't have had as many questions in the bullpen as we've had up to this point. And so there's been a trade-off, but the fact that he's eaten as many innings as he has and what he's meant to us, I would shudder to think about being at this point in the season and not having him in that rotation.
RBI single by Ryan Rayburn there to give the Tigers the first run of the game and the third hit of this fourth inning, which gets Mike Maddox out for a visit. Nolan, from what you've seen of Ogando, I mean, obviously he's not going to be undefeated forever, but in his basic approach, how do you see it playing long term?
Well, you know, he has such electric stuff. His fastball, so alive. His slider, what I've seen in him this year with his slider versus what I saw last year. I went out and saw him in the minor leagues prior to coming up to us. He was inconsistent with his slider. You would see some excellent ones, and then you'd see him leave some out over the plate. But I think that overall that he's improved considerably with that, and he throws so many strikes. That's where the difference is that these guys, he's very efficient with his pitches, and he's throwing strikes, and he gets ahead of all of them, and he puts them in a very defensive mode as a hitter, and so and they're aware of his slider, so he's very uncomfortable for hitters to hit off of.
Here's Danny Worth. Another question for you about Alexei. And that is, I mean, he's so new at it. He's 11 starts in, so I assume there's still a lot of upside. But after with this start, what is his upside?
That's a good question. You know, he's on top of his game, and I would like to say that his changeup will improve, and he'll get even more consistent with his slider.
Double steal and Worth hitting foul, 1-1.
I just think that he'll get where his pitchers are more. He's more consistent with his pitches, and if he gets where he can utilize his changeup more than he's doing now, because he goes in games where you don't see him throw it for several innings, or you'll see him throw it very few times during the course of a game. I think once he gets efficient with that and gets a lot of confidence in it, I think you're going to see better numbers. So it's exciting to think about, and it's exciting to watch.
Well, that sure is. That's something really to contemplate there. An improved Alexei Ogando. 2-1 to Worth. A run in. Avila at second. Rayburn at first. One out. Top of the fourth inning.
One of the things that Tom will tell you is that as a hitter, late movement is you cannot adjust to it because it's late. Once you start your swing and you get that late movement, it really is hard on hitters, and that's what you see with him.
That's also quality that's been ascribed to Derek Holland. What did you think of his start, his complete game shutout in Cleveland?
Oh, I was thrilled with it, and when Derek has his stuff working and he throws strikes, his effectiveness is overwhelming too. And I had a conversation with Michael Young about a week ago, and Michael was telling me that now he's playing first base, that he gets the opportunity to visit some of the opposing hitters as they come to first base. And the two pitchers that they talk about the most are Holland and Ogando, and it's because of how much movement they have on their stuff and how good their breaking balls are. And so when hitters are telling the opposing team about pitchers, that's a good indication of that they're uncomfortable and they don't like facing them.
Yeah, kind of the ultimate compliment there. Well, Nolan, we appreciate the visit. We'll let you get back to rooting down there.
Okay, guys, let's hope we pull this one out.
Tell Ollie I said hi, Nolan.
I'll do it. Thanks.
Worth fouling off pitch after pitch. This is now a 22-pitch fourth inning for Harrison. It was at 49 pitches through 3. Rangers now being out hit 6-3. And Worth, number 9 hitter, works the count full. Austin Jackson on deck. Two doubles tonight for the Tigers. Martinez has scored after his leadoff double here in the fourth inning. They have had an extra base hit in every game this year, all 60. Only team in the majors that can say that. And it's the longest streak for a Tiger team to begin a season since at least 1919. That's as far back as their records go. 10 extra base hits last night. That is as many as any team's had the majors this year, and of course 4 of them ended up leaving the yard. Worth a double last night, coming in just in the 7th inning, and the walk loads the bases for the top of the order. Second walk issued by Harrison. He has retired Austin Jackson twice, though. Struck him out looking in the first, got him to ground to short in the third. Austin coming in was 3 for 5 against Harrison. Bases loaded, 1 out. Tom, you'd love to think double play, but that is an extremely difficult proposition with the speed of Jackson.
Well, he's hit into 5 of them this year, so it's not an impossible thing. It's a little more unlikely with a guy that runs like that. But he's hit into more than Avila has. Of course, he's been up more, too.
That's best option, a strikeout, and that's much more likely. His 70th strikeout came in the first inning. Always a good crowd coming down from Denton to watch Austin Jackson out of the Ryan High School program there. 2 Sports Star in there for strike 2. For a long time he considered playing both sports at Georgia Tech, one of the best point guards in high school baseball. And the Yankees, as an 8th round pick in 05, put enough money out there to make him choose baseball. And he strikes out. No.
So it hit the ground. I'll tell you what, you got to have good eyes to see that. How in the world can you see that ball hit the ground? Unless you saw dirt kick up, I don't know how you could see that. And I don't know how he could catch it if it hit the dirt first. Well, I guess you could short hop it. That's tough call right there.
Ed Hickox making this call. Oh, that's right into his mitt.
The dirt he saw was the dirt that kicked up from his glove being in the ground. Yeah, I don't know how you can make that call. And it goes right in his glove.
Yep, every angle makes it look like strike 3. So Harrison will have to give Jackson a do-over here at 1 and 2. Almost had the second out of the inning. He tries to elevate. Too high at 93, 2 and 2. It's now a 30-pitch 4th inning for Harrison. Full count with the bases loaded. What pitch do you throw him here, Tom?
Well, when Matt was in this situation with Cabrera, he threw him an off-speed pitch. He went right off the end of the bat. So, based on being behind in the count, he went with his fastball. You can't go wrong with a knee-high 94-mile-an-hour fastball. But I think one of the things that's allowed Matt to be successful this year has been his ability to throw off-speed pitches in this kind of a situation.
Liner, base hit, right center field. He got another fastball. It is bobbled out there. And coming to the plate, but tagged out, is Worth. Avila and Rayburn score, though, and it's 3-0 Tigers.
Well, you go from having Jackson struck out to a 2-run single to right field. Well, that's some bad fortune right there.
Jackson able to time that fastball, put a good inside-out swing on it. It is a single, 2 runs batted in. And 8-4-2 on this put out at the plate. Napoli sealing things off. Jackson taking second on the throw. Here's Casper Wells, reached on an infield hit last time, fly to right his first trip. And he rips one fair into the left field corner. Jackson scores before Murphy even gets to that ball. The second double of the inning for the Tigers. And their 5th hit with a walk thrown in. And Dave Bush is throwing in the bullpen.
I think after a long layoff and not being able to do a lot with that, trying to pass the kidney stone, I think what you're seeing is Matt in this long inning getting a little tired right now. Well over 30 pitches in the inning. Didn't get any help on that called strike to Austin Jackson, though.
No, he sure didn't. That would have been the second out. Completely different disposition for the inning. Now the 8th Tiger to bat in the 4th, and it's Bosch who has singled and walked. Retired last night only on a fly to center off the bat of Yoshi Tateyama in the 7th inning. His average up 21 points already in this series. And an opposite field shot there. 0-2. No doubt Harrison tired this inning. About to throw his 37th pitch. How much more tired would he be if he hadn't come in on 9 days rest?
Yeah, actually, I think he wouldn't be as tired. I think the long rest is one of the reasons he is tired. He hasn't had the same workload between starts.
That's too much rest, then.
I think it is. Too much rest and not being able to have your normal routine. because of the blister and because of the kidney stone situation. Hasn't been able to do his same amount of throwing, hasn't been able to do his same amount of running, at least certainly not in the same way he would have without those two things going on. I think it's probably contributed to it.
Another full count. His fourth of the inning. Only one of them went well. He struck out Peralta. And this now will be a 40-pitch inning. He threw 49 through the first 3. Gets it. So 2 strikeouts in the Tiger fourth, but they get 3 runs on 5 base hits. 4 runs on 5 base hits, and they lead it 4-0. Who's at the most home runs into the club level at Rangers ballpark? The second deck out in left field. It was a hitter who, when he saw the design of the ballpark, was not at all happy. He thought it would not be a hitter-friendly stadium, if you can believe that. Well, the Rangers, with their work cut out against Rick Porcello, armed with a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 4th inning. They have 3 hits, 2 of those coming with 2 outs in the 3rd, but he got Hamilton to fly to right. And another call not going the Rangers' way. Ed Rapuano down at first base on the appeal says it is 0-2. Michael, like most of the Rangers, grounded out his first time up.
Dave, I don't know if you had any of the cake balls or any of the assortment of cookies we got today.
Not yet.
They came from Suzette Schreiber from Windhorst, Texas, from her bakery there. I want to thank her very much. She's not at the game. Sis Green, her friend, and her sons Kellen and Cody delivered the cookies today, so thanks to them. Suzette, I know you're watching the game on TV. Thanks to you, and we'll see you in Seattle for your vacation.
Michael elevates one, but Jackson runs it down in the gap. Michael now 0 for his last 19. Good contact there, not paying off. And let's check in with Jim Moxie.
All right, Dave. Fox Sports Southwest Fan Express rolled into the ballpark again tonight. One of their few big-time games they attend. Courtesy of the 1310, the ticket also teamed up with that. What was the ride like?
Man, it was all the comforts at home and one pimped-out party bus.
Yeah, it is the place to be. Look for the Fox Sports Southwest Fan Express coming to your city near you. The only thing missing, I think, is Bob and Dan of the ticket. Corby, Mike, and even Danny uses an arm.
Come on out and help us. Come on out and help us. We need you. We need it. We need it.
It's a call out here from the fans. All right, Dave.
Are those fans like that anyway, or does Jim Knox make them that way?
He brings it out in them.
He hypers them up.
Those are normal fans until they come in contact with Jim. And then they just start acting like that. He just brings that out in the fans.
That was my suspicion all along.
That guy's never yelled like that in his life.
Home run caught by Beltre. And it is 1-2. Beltre stuck on 11 home runs quite a while now. That is only good for a tie for 12th in the AL. Well, the Rangers struggling here, but elsewhere in the division, the news is good. A's losing again, 4-0. Orioles batting bottom of the 8th at Camden Yards. And Beltre able to elevate one, but Jackson runs that one down in the left center field gap. So the A's staring at their 8th consecutive loss. Seattle trailing 5-1 at Chicago, bottom of the 4th inning. White Sox with a 4-run third against Felix Hernandez, being outpitched by Philip Humber so far. Here is Nelson Cruz, who grounded to third in the 2nd inning. For leaderboard, let's look at the longest home runs by a Ranger at Rangers Ballpark this year. And Cruz has 4 of the 5. Only Mitch Moreland cracking that list. And last night's, bouncing off the back wall of the visitors' bullpen, the longest of the year and the 4th longest in ballpark history at 459 feet. But Porcello again gets him to ground out to the third baseman Worth. And the Rangers go in order for the 2nd time in 4 innings. On to the 5th, 4-0 Tigers. A question for tonight, and it was a home run related question. Who was at the most home runs into the club level at Rangers Ballpark, the 2nd deck in left field? That would be Juan Gonzalez, who got it up there a total of 4 times. He was a critic of the original design of the ballpark. He thought that the left field wall was too far back there. He didn't like 390 feet in the left center field, but Steve Busby turned out it didn't bother him all that much. not much did bother Juan Gonzalez when he was swinging his usual bat.
You know, when Juan stopped talking about that was one of the first series of the season we played the Indians. It was cold out. The ball wasn't carrying. There wasn't much wind. And Jim Thome hit one 400 feet to left center field, left-handed. And I think that was enough to say, okay, stop complaining. It can be done.
Well, Dave Bush takes over for Matt Harrison, gone after 4 innings, 89 pitches, 4 runs, and it turns out one of those was unearned because of a scoring change. Nelson Cruz now charged with an error, allowing Ryan Rayburn to score. 8 hits, 5 of those in that 4th inning, struck out 5 and walked 2. And now Dave Bush, who would have started if Harrison had not been able to go because of the kidney stone, in there. The Rangers hope for several innings as Miguel Cabrera gets his first hit of the night. Verizon Wireless called to the bullpen. Long man Dave Bush. And Buzz, you just give Matt Harrison the E for effort tonight?
Yeah, he was willing to take the ball and went out there, and he felt he was sound enough physically to go ahead and get the job done. And unfortunately, he ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw. This is not the easiest team to pitch against in normal circumstances. I mean, that's a pretty formidable lineup. But the way they're playing right now, I mean, you have to be pretty sharp. And I thought, you know, Matt did real well for the first 3 innings and kind of ran into a situation where his pitch count got up, and the lack of work between his last start and tonight, I think, caught up with him.
Diving stab by Blanco, and immediately has the presence of mind to see if he can perhaps get 2. He can't. But what an effort by Andres Blanco.
The thing about Blanco is when he plays, there's not a real letdown at whatever position he's playing. He's a good, solid defensive player. Reacts quickly to that line drive, and he doesn't waste any time throwing it either. He has no idea where the runner is, but he's going to get over there just in case.
Elvis Andrus could not have done that one any better. Defensive play tonight so far by a Ranger. Strike 1 to Johnny Peralta. As you bring up this lineup, first in baseball to have 5 30 RBI men. They are tough up top to bottom, aren't they?
They are, and you know, they're missing a couple pieces too, Ordonez and Guillen, and they could be even more formidable if they had those guys healthy and doing what they're capable. But this is an awfully good lineup with a pretty good mixture of veterans and young hitters that are very accomplished.
Cabrera will take second on the wild pitch, and a big turn to boot at second base before Napoli tracks it down. If you're Jim Leland, are you just counting the days until you take over this division? I mean, if you stack up what Detroit has against what Cleveland has, kudos to what the Indians have done to this point. But are the Tigers the better team?
Oh, I think so, Dave. Yeah, if you're Jim Leland, you're not thinking about anything except tonight's game. I mean, he is very matter of fact about being a baseball manager. You played a nice game, you played as hard as you can, you try to beat the socks off whoever you're playing, and then worry about tomorrow's game tomorrow. But that's, you know, and his team kind of takes that attitude too. Each at bat it one at a time. And I think if you look back over the years, the good teams have taken on the personality of a manager, and have become good because the manager has the kind of personality that enables them to be good. He puts them in good situations. He has guys that either learn how or know how to play the game the way he likes it played, and they're successful because of that.
Peralta strikes out. The second out for Bush here in the 5th. And Buzz, what you're talking about really is what really took over the Rangers clubhouse last year. Wouldn't you agree that they figured out, you know, the Ron Washington style of baseball is winning baseball? It kind of took on his personality.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dave, and I think it took him a couple of years to really buy into it 100%. It's a very simple approach to playing baseball, but very difficult to do on a daily basis, and that's what, as the way Ron likes to put it, that's what baseball asks you to do on a daily basis.
Sounded like Avila broke his bat, and Blanco handles 2 of the 3 outs after the leadoff single by Miguel Cabrera. And we're through 4.5, 4-0 Tigers. Tracks offer savings up to 50% for most Sunday through Thursday Ranger games. You can choose for upper or lower reserve seats and receive 4 tickets, hot dogs, and Cokes, plus $20 in sports park tokens and 1 souvenir program. Order online at TexasRangers.com/family. Bottom third of the order against Rick Porcello, shutting out the Rangers on 3 singles through 4 innings. Moreland, Napoli, and Blanco. Moreland so far his only strikeout victim. 8 ground ball outs in the first 4 innings. Rangers of late, though, starting to get under a few, but Austin Jackson keeps running them down, almost runs into Casper Wells there.
They're getting some balls in the air, but they're not hitting it on the good part of the bat. And that's pretty much been the story all day long. David Murphy hit a ball on the good part of the bat up the middle, but other than that, the movement on the sinker pretty much kept the ball off the good part of the bat. I'll give Porcello credit.
Jackson calling it all the way.
Get out of my way, Casper. Wells is saying, don't you think I can catch a fly ball too?
Yeah.
Mike Napoli grounded to third his first time up. What was your impressions of Rick Porcello? I mean, this is him really on his game tonight.
Well, I think he's becoming a very accomplished major league pitcher. He doesn't do a whole lot of fancy things out there. He has a very good sinker, which we've all seen, and pretty good breaking ball, and he's mixing them up well. But he feels, at least looking at him the way he's pitching, he feels like my sinker is good, and he believes that now. And I think that that's going to go a long way to making him a consistent major league winner.
You know, Buzz, as a hitter, when you're facing a conventional pitcher and you guess for a fastball and you get a fastball, it's a huge advantage. Not quite the same with a sinker ball pitcher. You can know the sinker's coming.
Yeah.
If he throws a good one, you're still limited to what you can do with it.
Exactly, Tom, and I think that's, when you have a pitch like that, some guys used a slider in that vein, and some guys with the sinker. I mean, you could tell there were some guys that you could tell a slider was coming, and if it was a good slider, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it anyway? But I think that's, and I think it's important that it looks like from the results he's gotten tonight and what he's gotten early in this season is that he's starting to believe that hey, this is a pretty good pitch, and I don't have to do anything magical with it except be around the strike zone.
Yeah, you pitch with a guy that when he had his good sinker was a lot like that. That was Al Fitzmaurice.
Yeah, right.
He was a soft tosser.
Yep.
You watch him pitch and say, boy, I'm going to get some hits tonight. But then you end up grounding out a few times and you're 0 for 3.
That's one of those comfortable 0 for 3s.
Yeah.
Well, Porcello issues his first walk to Napoli, and he doesn't walk many, fewer than 2 per start in his first 10. Just his 19th walk of the year.
I remember one time in a close game, I bunted and got a base hit against Al Fitzmaurice, and someone came up after me and bunted. Then we got sacrificed, and we're on second and third. And Fitzmaurice is yelling at me for bunting on him. And I said, I've never had a hit against you in my life. Why wouldn't I try something different?
Yeah.
Well, Avila out with a word for Porcello after the walk to Napoli, and he falls behind the number 9 hitter Blanco here, 2 balls and no strikes. And immediately gets the ground ball to start a double play. That was a pretty effective message, whatever it was, delivered by Avila. And the Rangers end up only the minimum 3. Buzz, thanks as always.
Thank you. Talk to you later on.
All right, still 4-0.
Sit around, Buzz.
Detroit fourth inning, which chased Matt Harrison. Ended up throwing 40 pitches to get through that inning. Gone after 4 runs, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. 89 pitches, and Dave Bush in the 5th inning worked around a leadoff single by Miguel Cabrera, and throws ball 1 to Ryan Rayburn, who figured in a couple of ways in that Detroit 4th. He singled in a run, scored the unearned run on what was, after some extra consideration, ruled an error on a bobble out right field by Cruz. Kinsler records the first out of the 6th inning. Dan Shibik is our official scorer tonight.
Yeah, I think that was the right call, because there's no way that Jackson would have gone to second if Nelly didn't bobble the ball, and there's no way that the runner would have been waved home if he didn't bobble the ball. Would have been probably first and third.
Here's Danny Worth, who contributed a walk to that inning, but then was thrown out at the plate after that bobble. Hamilton to Kinsler to Napoli. Ranger pitchers now at 100 pitches. Rick Porcello has thrown 58 through 5. And he just worked a 10-pitch 5th, which included a walk on a full count to Napoli. That is not very easy to do. Line drive over a leaping Kinsler. And Worth has his first hit of the night. Two for 2 last night. Career high 3 RBIs after coming in the 7th inning, pinch hitting for Don Kelly. And Austin Jackson, who had the 2-run single and scored on the double by Wells to cap that 4th. Has also struck out and grounded out. Double play depth in the infield. He has grounded into 5 this year. Jackson, last year's American League Rookie Runner-Up of the Year. Rookie of the Year runner-up to Neftali Feliz. Hit almost 300, 293, stole 27 bases. 10 triples, tied for second. Scored 103 runs. 181 hits. He also struck out 170 times to lead the league. And still striking out a lot. He's at 70 in now game 60. Early in the season, went through a tough spell. Trouble recognizing pitches. Since has come out of that. Cruz has to charge. Cannot make the play. He raised his glove, hoping to deke Danny Worth. He didn't buy it. He still makes second. And Austin Jackson has a 2-hit night. And a 5-hit series so far. Jackson for well over a month now, hitting up near 300. So that continues. There's Casper Wells, who already has 2 hits. Infield single in the 3rd, RBI doubled in the 4th.
Well, Buzz kind of hinted at it when he was here with us. Tigers are going good right now. They're swinging the bats. They're scoring a lot of runs. They're getting a lot of hits. And Rangers are facing them right in the middle of that hot streak.
Yeah, they're trying to get their 4th straight win here, 8th in 9 games. And their 4th in 5 meetings with the Rangers this year. Rangers last year won the season series 6-3. Tigers won the 3 previous season series before 2010. Detroit, the best team in baseball, beginning May 3rd. Trying to improve to 21-10 in that span. And still without Maglio Ordonez, who has been expected back by those who follow the Tigers already this week. Double play ball, 6-4-3. Blanco to Kinsler to Moreland. And Bush works around a couple of hits in the 6th inning. Sonic Slam inning brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot worth $800 in dinner for two to Sonic Drive-In. And tonight the Rangers are hitting for Tammy Edgerton from Victoria. If the Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, Tammy Edgerton from Victoria will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. And Rick Porcello gets the top of the order in the 6th. Kinsler, Murphy, and Hamilton. Averaging fewer than 12 pitches per inning through 5. And again, the 10-pitch 5th, which included a walk on a full count to Napoli. Moreland flied out on 1 pitch, and Blanco get into a double play. Kinsler last time up, his 4th hit. There's his 5th against Tiger pitching this series.
The sinker ball pitchers are generally not strikeout pitchers, and Porcello's not a strikeout pitcher. But as far as pitch counts go, a good sinker ball pitcher with good command and good control will keep his pitch count down much better than a strikeout pitcher because he gets a lot of quick outs. And if he gets men on base, you get ground balls, you tend to get some double plays as well. That's pretty much what's playing out for Porcello today. A lot of quick outs, and he had a nice double play to end the last inning that helped.
Well, David Murphy is 2 for 2. Both ground singles up the middle. So David following his season high 3-hit game Sunday with another multi-hit effort. 4th start in his last 5 games. Porcello curved to even the count at 1-1. Tom, talking about low pitch counts, Porcello in his first 10 starts has only thrown over 100 pitches 4 times. One of those right at 100.
Well, even though he's entering his 3rd full season, he's still only 22 years old. So I would have to think that the Tigers are still somewhat concerned about his pitch counts.
Kinsler takes off and is in there.
Well, you want to try to get something going right here. Be aggressive on the bases. Take the double play away. Get a run. Get a run closer. Hopefully have somewhat of a big inning right here. But Ian gets a good jump. Porcello's not that quick to the plate. Turns out to be an easy stolen base. I love that camera shot. Look at the dust.
Yeah, isn't that? It's like you're right there. You're the umpire. You're Brian O'Nora. And now 3 balls to the strike to Murphy. Kinsler 12 out of 14 stealing. That is the league leading 63rd stolen base on the year for the Rangers. Murphy has another 3-hit game. Kinsler will be held at third as Jackson fires it back in quickly.
Ian went back towards second in case that line drive was caught by Rayburn. That's why he's only on third base. But with no outs, you got the middle of the order coming up. Last thing you're going to do is risk an out on the bases. What you've seen in this inning is the sinker's not sinking quite as much. The ball is up. That fastball didn't sink. It's right down the middle of the plate. David rips it up the middle. The pitch to Ian was up above the knees, didn't sink, ripped into center field. Now, when the ball's down around the knees and sinks, it's tough to hit anything but a ground ball. But as a hitter, you make him get it up, and then it's much more hittable.
Tigers pitching coach Rick Knapp discussing strategy here for Josh Hamilton, who for the second straight time bats with 2 men on. Last time, though, it was with 2 outs in the third, and he flied to right. All 3 at bats for Josh.
There was a time in Cleveland when Ian was struggling, when David was struggling, and we said it's just a matter of time. Things go in cycles. Good hitters don't stay in slumps. And we're seeing some signs of Ian coming out of it the last couple of days. Same with David.
Well, those two tonight have all 5 Ranger hits. Hamilton up again all 3 times with men on.
Yep. That was a good patient at bat for David, too. He waited, didn't help him out by swinging at pitches out of the strike zone. And he's not going to throw Josh a good pitch to hit right here unless he has to.
Hamilton again trying to flip that opposite field, it looked like, but no balls and 2 strikes. 67 pitches, 43 strikes, 24 balls. For Rick Porcello, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. 5 hits, all singles. 2 by Kinsler, the 3 by Murphy. And 9 ground ball outs. Slips in that curve again, aiming for the back door, just missed. This may be the Rangers' chance to get back into this game right here. And he tries to hit that one to back up and get him on the inside corner, and almost succeeded. Very close, 2-2. .6'5", 200, the Gatorade National High School Player of the Year out of Seton Hall Prep in New Jersey, 2007. Weak roller. Avila gets the out. The Rangers get their first run. Kinsler comes home, and it's 4-1. It's about as little contact on an RBI from Josh Hamilton as you'll ever see. But Kinsler home. Murphy at second base with 1 out. Scoring position for Young. That travel maybe 15 feet, 20 at the most.
That's an easy run for Ian because there's no one on home plate. Catcher went out to make the play. No doubt that you can score easily on that. All you have to do is look home and see that there's no one there.
Michael 0 for his last 19. 2 for his last 28.
Well, you pick up a run right here. It's a whole different ball game with 3 more innings to go. Make it a 4-2 game.
As tough as Porcello has been, if you get to their bullpen, they have been pitching lights out baseball. Well, last time Avila went out there, Blanco immediately hit into an inning-ending double play. See how Porcello takes to this word of advice. As they have left-handed David Percy now throwing in their bullpen. Percy just back from paternity leave. Two and 0 to Young. At runners in scoring position average, 7th in the American League. He's been at or near the top all year until this little 6-game slide. Now 3 and 0. First base is open. Beltre is next, and he also is 0 for 2. Like Michael, is grounded out and fly to center. Porcello, if he had not signed with the Tigers, was ready to go to the University of North Carolina. Three and 2. From a baseball family, his grandfather, Sam Dente, played in the World Series with the Cleveland Indians in 1954, the year they were swept by Willie Mays and the Giants. His mother's father grew up as a Met fan in New Jersey. In the majors, winning 14 games at age 20. Ground ball Underworth. Peralta's throw is not in time, and Michael ends the 0 for 19.
And that's the kind of play that's a little tougher for Peralta. He's not quite the same shortstop he was when he was much younger. As I mentioned, he'd been moved to third base with the Indians. He makes the routine plays, but this kind of play is a little bit tougher for him. Can't get quite as much on it while he's on the run.
And with that double pump, just enough margin for Michael to beat it out. And now 2 on for Beltre. Murphy still at second on the ground ball hit right in front of him, of course. And a good sinker there for strike 1 to Adrian. Chance here for Beltre to end his season-long streak of 6 straight games without driving in a run. Still 4th in the league, though, just behind Cabrera. White Sox and Mariners now on the top of the 7th at Chicago. 5-1 Chicago over the Mariners. 2.5 behind the Rangers beginning play tonight. Oakland has lost again. That's 8 straight. 4-0 at Baltimore.
Good job. Make him get it up. Don't swing at the first thing you can get the bat on. That's the other thing about a sinker ball pitcher is you feel like you can get the bat on it, and it looks like a pretty good pitch to hit, but when they're out of the strike zone, you may get the bat on it. That's the bad part, because there's not much you can do with it if it's not a good strike to hit. Attaboy. Oh, tipped it.
Yeah, Beltre staring at his bat, wondering where.
Thought he took it for ball 3, but it was ruled a foul tip by Ed Hickox. I'm not sure what would have happened in the Tigers' 4-run inning, but remember that ball that Austin Jackson apparently fouled into the catcher's mitt. It was ruled that the ball hit in the dirt. Then he lined a bases-loaded ball into right center field.
That one is well foul.
Well, he got away with one right there. It was either a hanging slider or a changeup. Beltre was just a little bit out in front of it. That ball did not end up where Porcello wanted it to. And that's a changeup, it looked like, and Beltre almost hammered it right out of the ballpark.
Handed off the facing of the lower sweet level. Line drive right at Peralta.
That's too bad. Hit a tough pitch, but he hit it hard right at the shortstop, and that's good base running by David Murphy. So many times you'll see that line drive. The runner takes one step toward third base, anxious to try to score on a base hit. It turns into a double play. In that situation, then Nelly Cruz doesn't get a chance to hit with 2 men on. But David went back towards second immediately. Plants, sees the line drive, and goes back to second. Good instincts on the bases right there.
So bad luck for Beltre. Still 2 on, but with 2 outs now. Here is Nelson Cruz. And he just do here what he did twice last night. Then the Rangers are all even. After not being able to do anything with Porcello through the first 5. Percy continues to throw in the Tiger bullpen. Rangers now with right-hander Mark Lowe loosening up. Dave Bush has thrown a couple of shutout innings. Bottom of the strike zone right there. Here's what he did last night. That was number 1.
Yeah, he didn't even hit that ball very good.
This, the longest in the park this year, 4th longest in Rangers ballpark history, 459 feet. 1 hop to the back of the visitors' bullpen wall.
He did hit that one pretty good. The longest one here was the one that Canseco hit halfway up the bullpen wall.
The average length 411, 5 over 425 feet.
You got a good hitter's count here. Try to make him get it up. Even the called strike was not a good pitch to hit.
Just foul. Didn't get all of that one either. Strong enough to turn it into a hit for extra bases.
That's the late movement that Nolan Ryan was talking about. You start your swing, and then right at the end, it shoots in on your fists, and it's too late to check your swing. You end up swinging at a pitch that you really didn't want to swing at because you couldn't gauge where it was going to be. That's the kind of movement that Porcello sometimes gets with his sinker.
And he strikes him out, climbing the ladder. Second strikeout. They have both ended innings, and this one ends an inning where the Rangers get their first run on 3 hits, 2 left, 4-1 headed to the 7th. Brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford, the best in Texas. By Steel, for dependable trimmers and lightweight blowers, visit steeldealers.com. And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. Brennan Bosch takes high, leading off the 7th inning, a single, a walk, and a strikeout. 1 for 2 tonight, 6 for 8 in the series. Dave Bush came on in the 5th after Matt Harrison threw 89 pitches. struggled through the 4-run Tiger fourth. And Bush working around 3 base hits by Cabrera, Worth, and Jackson.
I forgot to mention while we were in Cleveland that Dave was inducted into the Cape Cod League Hall of Fame recently, within the last week. Dave pitched in Chatham on the Cape.
Mark Lowe has sat down in the Ranger bullpen. Joaquin Benoit now getting up in the Tiger bullpen. Yankee Stadium, they're in the bottom of the 8th. Red Sox leading New York 6-3. Murphy racing in and toward the line and can't get to it. It's another hit for Brendan Bosch. His 7th in not quite 2 games here in Arlington.
It just hits a little blooper. Pretty good pitch to hit. He just hit it right off the end of the bat. Just dunked it right in front of Murphy in left field. Same hit that Avila had last time up. Back in the 4th inning, as a matter of fact.
Tom Miguel Cabrera greeted Bush with the single in the 5th. And flag down by Blanco here in time at second base to get Bosch. What a night with the glove and the arm for Andres Blanco.
A beautiful play. He showed some range right there because that ball was hit hard. Showed the range, made a nice scoop with the glove, and then got some help from Ian picking that throw out of the dirt like a first baseman.
Our Brown hand center, great hands play. That's one of the best of the year.
Beautiful play by Ian to make it possible. That ball was by him out into left field almost. Ian plays it like a first baseman, and they get the force out at second base.
How many teams, Tom, have backup shortstops who can make those plays?
Well, I couldn't tell you. I don't see the National League that much. But I think the way I'd answer that is I think the Rangers are lucky to have a guy like Blanco as the utility player. He's got a great attitude. He's a great teammate. He's always ready to play. He can play all the different infield positions. If you need him to play once every 2 weeks, fine. He'll be ready every 2 weeks. If you want him to play every day for 2 weeks, he'll be up for that. So I'm not sure how he compares to the rest of them because we don't get a chance to see all the other ones that much. But I will say this. I know the Rangers are very lucky to have a guy like him as their utility player.
That sums it up very well. 0-2 to Martinez. He was robbed last time up on a diving stab at a line drive by Blanco. First of his 2 highlight film plays tonight. Seattle and the White Sox now bottom of the 7th inning at U.S. Cellular Field. 5-1 White Sox. Felix Hernandez still in there for the Mariners. Chicago got to him for 4 in the 3rd. Konerko and Quentin with home runs. So at this point, looking like if the Rangers are to fall, and there's a lot more here, it might be the night to do it. Because already Oakland has lost. Seattle is losing. That one falls in front of Hamilton. And a 2-hit night for Victor Martinez.
But when you're hot, you're hot. It seems like everything they hit right now is falling in. There's a little blooper to center after a little blooper to left. In the 4-run 4th inning, Martinez had a ground ball down the line. Avila had a little blooper to left field. It looked like Austin Jackson was struck out. Instead, it's a line drive with the bases loaded to right center field. So generally, when you're in one of your good streaks, not only are you playing great, but good things are happening to you as far as good fortune goes as well.
Steady diet of the slow breaking ball for Bush. Peralta 0 for 3, struck out his last 2 trips, including facing Bush back in the 5th. Mark Lowe back up in the Ranger bullpen. David Percy again up, joining Benoit in the Tiger pen. Well, the Tigers not getting help in their division tonight. Cleveland ended their 5-game losing streak 1-0 over the Twins, ending their 5-game winning streak. Carlos Carrasco, who the Rangers beat last Thursday, getting the win. Save number 15 for Chris Perez. Francisco Liriano just activated, the hard luck loser. Twins getting 3 hit tonight. Indians win with 4 hits. They scored in the 4th inning. Feel that was enough. So the Tigers must win now to stay 1.5 back in the Central.
Well, if the Indians get healthy, get Hafner back in the middle of their lineup, they could end up being a factor. But the team that I think has a better chance of being a factor than the Indians is the White Sox. They're on their way to beating Felix Hernandez tonight. They beat Michael Pineda last night at home. Yeah. A lot of baseball yet to be played.
Tonight, Philip Umber, the former Rice Owl, pitching King Felix. Oakland again lost their 8th straight, 4-0 at Baltimore. Jakubauskas the winner. His first decision. Guillermo Moscoso the loser, 2-2. Home runs by Scott Hardy and Adam Jones for the Orioles, who are still last in the East, but just 3 games under 500 now. They're 28-31 for Buck Showalter.
Yeah, Adam Jones might be right on the way to playing himself into the All-Star game. Making highlight reel catches. Got his average up around 300.
Yeah. Home run tonight was his 8th.
A talented player.
Peralta works the count full. Those the only 2 finals so far in the American League. Red Sox Yankees now moving to the 9th at Yankee Stadium, 6-3 Boston. And off the heel of Beltre's glove. And with the runners going, Cabrera comes home, and it is 5-1 Tigers.
Just another example of being able to find a hole. Bosch started the inning with a blooper to left. Martinez hit a blooper to center, and Peralta hits a bad hop single to left. That's a tough inning for Dave Bush, who made a lot of good pitches. They haven't hit a ball hard yet.
But Ron Washington ready to make the move, as that one just off the glove of Adrian Beltre. RBI single, RBI number 32 for Peralta. And Dave Bush gone after 2 1/3 and 37 pitches. On comes Lowe. Check out the #1 free sports app on iTunes, the all-new Fox Sports app with live scoring, video, and all the latest on your Rangers. It's free and on iTunes right now. Mark Lowe pitching very well of late, on for the 17th time this year. Retired both batters he faced on Thursday at Cleveland, taking just 7 pitches, ending the 8th, stranding 2, hoping the Rangers preserve a 6-4 lead at that point.
Yeah, and Mark's improvement and the way he's throwing is coming just in time. The Rangers are looking for a power arm to pitch in the 8th inning. And the way Mark's been throwing, the progress he's making, could very well be that guy as the season goes on.
Alex Avila has 2 of the 14 Tiger hits tonight. Double in the 2nd, single been scored in their 4-run 4th. Mark Lowe has inherited 12 runners this year. None have scored. Last 2 outings, he has retired 5 straight, stranding 3. But behind here, 2 balls and no strikes. Lowe with the early struggles, a 1350 earned run average in 4 games. Went down to AAA, fixed himself in Round Rock. Some technical adjustments, including his angle and the height with which he holds the ball in his glove right there. And the results were better depth on his slider, better command of that and his fastball. So, Tom, as you mentioned, he's come back up and looks like the Mark Lowe the Rangers thought they were getting.
Yeah, and if he could pitch that way as an 8th inning guy, and Darren O'Day is able to come back from his hip surgery, Rangers will be in much better shape coming down the stretch with late inning guys, late inning right-handers to help complement Felice back there. If he ends up pitching as well as he's capable of, then he kind of takes the spot that Ogando has last year late in the ball game. Yeah, similar kind of arm, really.
And that was one of the thoughts when the Rangers made the move of Ogando from the bullpen to the starting rotation.
The one thing Ogando had last year is excellent control, excellent command. 2 strikes, 1 right after the other. That's the point Mark's trying to reach right now too, where he can command that fastball where he wants to.
Avila hanging in on that one at 96 miles an hour. National League, Cincinnati beat the Cubs 8-2 as Edinson Volquez has returned from the minor leagues. And a very solid start, now 4-2. Doug Davis falls to 0-5. Atlanta wins at Florida 1-0 behind Tommy Hanson, now 7-4. Only run, a home run by Alex Gonzalez, his 6th of the year in the 4th for the Braves. Braves, the final stop on the upcoming road trip for the Rangers. And Lowe comes back to strike out Avila.
Nice changeup. Avila had seen almost all, if not all, 95 to 96 mile an hour fastballs. Watch this changeup drop right at the end. That's a great changeup. Doesn't matter that it's near the middle of the plate. It's the change of speed and the movement that just really fooled Avila and would have fooled almost anybody after all those fastballs that he'd just seen.
Boy, that pitch with his fastball slider combination, and Mark Lowe can be very tough to hit. That's what he's been since coming back up. Ryan Rayburn, RBI single, and scored their unearned run out of their 4 in the 4th. Is also struck out and popped out. Martinez at second, Peralta at first. Lowe falling behind Rayburn 2-0. Dodgers won at Philadelphia 6-2. De La Rosa now 2-0. Roy Oswalt falls to 3-4. Despite a 305 earned run average. Home run by Kemp, his 17th for LA. Phillies fall to 36-25. And that is in there, a base hit into left field. Victor Martinez will come home, and it is 6-1 Detroit.
There's an example of what we're talking about, commanding your fastball, because you fall behind 2-0, and now any hitter is a better hitter, looking pretty much 100% for a fastball, and then you get a good strike to hit, and you just become a better hitter. See, the first two, one of them was close enough to be a strike. It wasn't called a strike. So 2-0, you get the fastball. It's near the center of the plate, and a guy that might be a 220 hitter is all of a sudden a 300 hitter.
Raybert, a 201 hitter coming into this series, and still there tonight, but 2 for 4, 2 runs batted in, 21st of his season. Danny Worth retired just once on a grounder to third, his first time up. Next time up he walked, but thrown out at the plate. And last time he singled off of Bush. Dave Bush went 2 1/3. And these 2 runs are on his ledger here in the 7th inning. He allowed 6 hits, struck out 1, did not walk a batter. And Peralta also Bush's property out there at second base. Pirates beat Arizona 8-5. And Pittsburgh under Clint Hurdle just a game under 500. They improved to 29-30. 4th in the National League Central. They started the day 5 games better than the Cubs. 6 better than the Astros. With a small fraction of the payroll, certainly the Cubs. And Lowe strikes out 2. But Rayburn gets him for the RBI single. 2 runs, 3 hits in the Tigers' 7th. Stretch time at Arlington. Rangers down 5. Is a proud sponsor of youth baseball leagues in your community. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy youth baseball programs, go to youthsportswire.com. Rick Porcello gone after 6 innings. That can only be good news for the Rangers. He allowed 1 run on 6 base hits, struck out 2, walked 1. He threw 29 pitches in the 6th inning, allowed a run on 3 hits. But
go ahead, Dave.
Beltre lined out. Cruz struck out with the potential 2nd and 3rd Ranger runs on the bags.
Yeah, I think the thing I would take away from Porcello's outing is the last pitch that he threw. He threw his best fastball as far as velocity goes, and I don't think he was trying to throw a sinker there. I think he wanted to throw a high fastball. Everything had been down. He elevated the ball, got Nelly to swing at a borderline pitch, got a strikeout with a couple of men on, and the game was 4-1. The way Nelly swinging the bat, that was a great way for Porcello to finish out. He had a good sinker tonight and showed a lot of poise. Even though he's in his 3rd full season, he's only 22 years old.
So the left-hander Percy working lefty-lefty to Mitch Moreland and gets ahead of a no balls and 2 strikes. Moreland, one of the 2 Porcello strikeout victims. And last time up, fly to center. Percy last worked May 30th. As we said, just off of paternity leave. Last 5 outings, he's been sharp. 225 earned run average, 8 innings, 2 earned runs. Like Matt Harrison, he has a reverse split going. Left-handed batters are pounding him to a 348 clip. Right-handed batters hit only 100 against him. Percy acquired from the A's for second baseman Scott Sizemore May 27th. 9 games with Oakland after coming over from Toronto on April 18th. 3 stops and off the glove of Peralta.
Well, maybe that'll be a turning point in the good fortune situation. Beltre with a couple of men on hit that bullet right straight at Peralta. Mitch hits a line shot right at him, but it just goes off the top of his glove for a base hit.
He's shown that ability to stay with the pitch that is on the outside half or edge of the plate and take it either up the middle or to the opposite field. It's got him into the top 9 in the American League in batting average. Napoli's grounded out and walked. Well, tonight notwithstanding, when Mike Napoli's caught, just about all good things have happened for the Rangers. They are 13-5 when he starts behind the plate. Last 7 games, he's hit at a 370 clip with 4 home runs. His home run ratio second on the team only to Nelson Cruz. He hits one out every 12 at bats. Moreland able to single on an 0-2 pitch. See what Napoli can do with this one. Jim Leland putting Ramon Santiago at second base, replacing Ryan Rayburn. Rayburn pulled after a 2-hit, 2 RBI night. $35,165. Another excellent midweek crowd at Rangers Ballpark at Arlington tonight. Bosch started in, now retreats to the warning track to bring in the first out. Ball carrying a little farther than Bosch expected it to off the bat. Let's check in here with Jim Nolan.
All right, Dave, real quick, big happenings here in right field. Pam Alexander, she is a longtime Rangers season ticket holder from Wichita Falls, Texas. Big night tonight. She comes all the way and she's celebrating because she's retiring as a school teacher after 34 years. Pam, is there anything you'd like to say?
I'm out of there and I'm in here.
There we go. Okay, she will continue to support the Rangers, and they're going to spend a few more days here, then head back to Wichita Falls. Good to have you out here for the celebration. Way to go, Pam. Way to go. Dave.
34 years as a school teacher. She should have a nickname, Saint. Andres Blanco 0 for 2, has hit into a double play, but he has turned in 2 sterling plays at shortstop.
Well, she might not have been a Saint, but she was called the Queen. That one sign said, "Are you hiring? Because the Queen is retiring."
Queen, Saint, same idea.
Yeah, it's royalty.
Percy, 10 pitches. That's well, that's a strike. Blanco went around. He's thrown only 1 that has missed the strike zone.
It looked like Andres was hoping the umpire didn't notice that he swung at that pitch.
But he did. Percy, part of the Tiger bullpen, with an ERA of just under 2.5 over their last 14 games, allowing an average of just 190 in that span. And Blanco swings at the same pitch again for out number 2. And the Tiger bullpen stacked with strikeout pitchers. They have 48 strikeouts over those 14 games. Just since the Rangers last saw them, they've added the hard-throwing right-hander Al Albuquerque to go with Benoit, Jose Valverde. Kinsler, 2 hits, scored the Ranger run after the leadoff single in the 6th inning, followed by his 12th stolen base. Scored on a roller that traveled about 15 feet up the first base line off the bat of Josh Hamilton. He got his 20th run batted in on it. Percy behind a hitter for the first time. The only relievers who were with the Tigers when the Rangers were up there in April: Benoit, Valverde. Oh, that's it. 2 of their 8. So they've completely revamped things, but getting great results. 3-0 here to Kinsler. You let him swing away here, Tom?
No, I think, you need base runners right here, down by 5 runs. I think in a 1-run game or a tie game, maybe you look for a good pitch to drive it. But in this kind of a game, you need base runners. You got 5 runs to get. It's getting late. You got the big guys coming up, and worked out that way for a walk.
One thing Ron Washington very complimentary about concerning Ian Kinsler with struggles on the road. Says he is still getting walks. He still has a respectable .350 on base percentage. Not what he would like from his leadoff hitter, but not as bad as you'd think with a guy hitting 123 on the road.
Yeah, and there's not many players. Most players, when they're not hitting, can't help you in the same ways Ian can help you. He plays solid defense, really good defense, turns a double play, has great range. He'll work a walk. He can run the bases. He can steal a base. And he's the kind of guy that does positive things, even on the days when he's not swinging the bat.
Yeah, Wash saying basically the same thing, using the term he brings a lot of game.
Yeah, he does. He does.
David Murphy has his second straight 3-hit game. See if he can take advantage of Percy's lefty versus lefty troubles. With 2 on and 2 out at the bottom of the strike zone, 1-1. Percy, the most traveled player in the major leagues at this point. Well shy of the halfway mark, pitching for his 3rd club. Just his 3rd outing as a Tiger, and gets ahead now 1-2. Before tonight, 2 hitless innings, allowing only a walk. After being acquired again on May 27th from the A's. A very impressive strikeout, the way David Murphy's been going. And Percy strikes out 2. No runs, a hit, and a walk, 2 left, and we go to the 8-6-1 Tigers. Depot presents Doing More on Defense. And one of 2 web gems turned in by Andres Blanco, robbing Victor Martinez back in the 5th inning.
Beautiful play. Quick reaction. Quick throw to first base. Didn't get the double play at first base. The runner got back. Nice athletic play, though.
Austin Jackson batting for the 5th time. 2-run single scored in the 4th. Single again in the 6th. 3 for 5 last night, having a good homecoming.
That's locating your fastball right there. Can't go wrong down and away to a right-hand hitter at 96 miles an hour. Great movement on that one, down and in.
Gave you a summary of his American League Rookie of the Year runner-up season last year. And still marred really only by the propensity to strike out twice tonight. 71 now for the year.
That's utilizing your fastball right there. Down and away for strike 1. He sunk one down and in for strike 2, and down and away for strike 3. But went from one side of the plate to the other. 3 straight pitches at 96 miles an hour. That's what Mott's capable of doing. Struck out 3 out of the 4 hitters that he's faced.
Only exception was the RBI single by Ryan Rayburn. Casper Wells has a 2-hit night. Infield single in the 3rd and an RBI double in the 4th. He was also flied out, hit into an inning-ending double play. Boy, 98 miles an hour now. Low really heating up.
He's going to have to get it started a little quicker to catch up with that one.
Nineteen pitches, 13 strikes. All mid. .98 again, just missing. They are in the top of the 2nd in Anaheim, and Tampa Bay leading the Angels 1-0. A run in the 1st off of Danny Herron. Alex Cobb, who the Rangers saw last week at Tropicana Field, getting to start for the Rays. The Angels start the day third in the West, 4.5 back of the Rangers, trying to end a 3-game losing streak. Everybody in the West lost last night. Oakland and Seattle have already lost again tonight. That one hit well. Cruz back in the corner, off the top of the wall. Right at the 349 mark. Casper Wells has his second double and his third hit.
Well, he did get it started. He did catch up with that fastball. Nice job of hitting right there. He was late swinging and missing at strike 2, but he hits the outside pitch the other way. Almost snuck it right out of the ballpark. Fastball away. Pretty nice job of hitting right there by Wells.
Tigers think he can be at least a good 4th outfielder long term in the major leagues. Their version of David Murphy, perhaps. Great arm. He was a pitcher at Towson State, threw 92 miles an hour. Good power. Well, jumps off his bat against left-handed pitchers, particularly. Well, the Rangers have retired Brendan Bosch once tonight. Matt Harrison struck him out to end his final inning, the 4th. But he's singled twice and walked. Seven for 9 in the series. Last night, 2 homers, career high, 5 hits, 5 runs batted in. That White Sox Seattle game final, 5-1 Chicago. Philip Humber wins now 5-3 with a 287 earned run average. And King Felix Hernandez falls to 6-5 despite a 3.29 ERA. So the White Sox, for the second night in a row, cooled off a red-hot Seattle team, which will hope to stay 2.5 back, barring any Ranger comeback. They will. Back to a game over 500 now, 31-30. Chicago improves to 30-33, keeping pace with the Indians, who beat the Twins 1-0. Mitch Moreland handles out number 2 unassisted. Wells up to third for Miguel Cabrera to try and bring in. And let's again check in with Jim.
All right, Diane, time for the progressive fan of the game. It has to be Bridges. Just graduated from Shepherd Air Force Base, and now he's going to fly some planes heading to Little Rock, but a graduation present decided he's going to watch his favorite team drill on his antlers, on his batting practice helmet. There you go. There's the bag. There's the hat. What do you have to say?
Progressively, the best thing to do besides flying airplanes around is watch Rangers win tonight. Woo!
He's fired up. Way to go. Way to go, Bridges. Watch these things. They could stick someone there. There we go. Way to go. Congratulations, Dave.
Yeah, that is a little bit dangerous headgear. Happily smothering ball 1 to Cabrera.
Doesn't look old enough to fly an airplane.
Not one that I'm riding in.
Y'all very much.
It's a wide berth out there, I would imagine. Cabrera, a hit. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored last time up. And that one falls in front of Hamilton. His second hit. Wells comes home, and it is 7-1.
Well, the Tigers are getting their bloopers. They've hit a lot of balls hard. I'm not going to take away from the fact they've hit some balls hard, but it's one of those nights where everything they hit is falling in. Balls they hit hard are falling in, and a lot of the bloopers have fallen in too. Right off the end of the bat. Here's another one.
Pitch out of the strike zone. Well, that is hit number 17 after 18 hits last night. The Tigers have the 2 highest hit totals against the Rangers this year, and on consecutive nights they've done it. Highest was 16 by the Royals on May 27th. 13 runs, 18 hits last night, 7 on 17 hits tonight. Two hot teams coming in, and the Tigers right now the hotter. Victor Martinez, 2 hits, 2 runs. The first 5 hitters in the Tiger lineup all have multi-hit games. So do the 7 and 8 hitters, Avila and Rayburn, before he left. The only 2 who don't have multi-hit games still have hits. Peralta, an RBI single, and Danny Worth has a hit. So it is up and down their lineup. 6 different Tigers have scored. And Yoshi Tateyama now getting loose. That one finds a hole. A 3-hit night for Martinez. Cabrera to second base. 4 hits now allowed by Lowe. And he'll get a visit from Mike Maddox. Lowe striking out 3 of his first 4 batters. His last 4 have doubled and singled twice. Well, for complete NBA Finals coverage, switch over to Fox Sports Southwest after each game for post-game coverage and analysis as the Mavs go for their first NBA title. It's Mavs Live immediately after every Finals game, only on Fox Sports Southwest. Or if you're going to stick with us for the rest of this game, then just stay with us for Mavs Live after Game 4 going on at the AAC. Mark Lowe about to face his 9th batter, Johnny Peralta. Peralta chasing Dave Bush after 2 1/3 innings with his 32nd run batted in of the year. Matt Harrison started, lasted 4 runs, 1 unearned, 8 hits, 89 pitches, 40 of those coming in the 4-run 4th. And we'll find out after the game if he thinks there was any effect by the kidney stone, not passing the kidney stone. Still able to take the ball. Very sharp 3 shutout innings to begin with. Then definitely tired as that 4th inning wore on. Bush got it to the 7th. Backhand play by Blanco to end the Tiger 8th, but another run on 3 base hits. And in the Ranger 8th, Hamilton, Young, and Beltre down 6. Game, Tom, fourth inning, it's 1-0. It looks like Austin Jackson strikes out. Ed Hickok says no, the ball hit the ground. It didn't. 2-run single, and the Tigers were on their way to a 4-run inning.
Yeah, that was a big play early in the game. And, you know, who knows? If that's a strikeout, maybe it changes the game. But throughout the course of the game, the Tigers have hit. They've scored consistently. And, you know, when you've only got one run, that might have not made that much of a difference. But I'd like to go back to that same situation, get that call, and see what would have happened. Maybe Matt gets out of that inning quickly, pitches the 5th inning, doesn't throw as many pitches in the 4th inning. Who knows what could have happened? But it did appear to be a call that went against the Rangers that should have been a strikeout.
Josh Hamilton drove in the only Ranger run with a little dribbler that scored Ian Kinsler from 3rd in the 6th. All the damage they got against Rick Porcello, and he rolls over on this one to Santiago at 2nd. Defensive changes for Jim Leyland this inning. Casper Wells moves from left field to right field. Brendan Bosch takes the rest of the night off, and Andy Dirks takes over in left field. Dirks will be batting in Bosch's number 3 hole. Michael Young ended at 0 for 19 with an infield hit last time up. 3 for his last 29 now. David Percy came on in the 7th after 6 innings of 1-run 6-hit ball from Rick Porcello, who's in line to improve to 6-3. On a ground ball machine, particularly early. Struck out 2, walked only 1. Both pretty typical numbers for him. Red Sox have finished off a victory at Yankee Stadium 6-4. John Lester improves to 8-2. Freddie Garcia falls to 4-5. Jonathan Papelbon gets his 12th save with help from David Ortiz's 14th home run and Jacoby Ellsbury's 7th.
The Red Sox are now tied with the Yankees. If Tampa Bay wins, they're only 2.5 games out. Toronto wins, they're only 3.5 games out. So tight race in the East.
And Toronto in the bottom of the 8th at Kansas City, leading the Royals 8-5. Blue Jays just got 2 in their half of the 8th. Tampa Bay adding a run in the top of the 3rd, and Anaheim that now is 2-0 Rays over the Angels. Sky high under the jet stream, and Wells out in right field has out number 2. And that brings up Adrian Beltre. It was 0 for 3 robbed last time on a hard shot grab by the shortstop Johnny Peralta. And in the Ranger bullpen, Neftali Feliz has joined Tateyama.
Yeah, if Tateyama's throwing, I would guess that Tateyama's throwing to come in and Feliz is just throwing to get some work in.
That's what you have to think.
You know, occasionally you have to bring your closer into a game like this to get him work. But if that's the case, then I don't think Tateyama would be throwing as well.
Game still going in the National League. Giants won Washington 0, top of the 3rd. AT&T Park. Colorado and San Diego scoreless, top of the 4th. Top of the 9th in Houston. St. Louis 6, the Astros 3. Lance Berkman, homers and a homecoming, his 13th of the year. Albert Pujols is back. He hits his 14th home run. And bottom of the 8th in Milwaukee, Mets 2, Brewers 1. Brewers, one of the hottest teams going, a 4-game winning streak, just 1.5 behind the Cardinals in the National League Central. In the East, Florida falls to 5 back. Atlanta stays 4 back of the Phillies. Braves 1, Marlins 0. Or I beg your pardon, Florida's still 4 back, and Atlanta moves to 3 back as the Phillies lose 6-2 to L.A. Beltre thought that was a bit high. 3-2. Fair ball. Beltre finally getting a break at the plate, and a wicked bounce. Dirks chases it down. It was going to be a double one way or another for Adrian Beltre.
Yeah, Beltre finally found a hole. That line shot at the shortstop with a couple of men on back in the 6th inning. Finds a hole just inside the bag. A great shot of it from this camera, which is right in line with the third baseline, right straight over the bag. And the call from the third base umpire, Alfonso Marquez.
So Adrian Beltre safe at second, safe and secure. New York life. Rangers have their 8th hit. None of them so far from Nelly Cruz. He's grounded to third twice and struck out. 10-game hit streak on the line here. For the Tigers, 7 runs on 18 hits. They have that hit total for the 2nd straight night. No errors. They've left 11. 1 run, 8 hits, and errors, 7 left for the Rangers. Cruz committing the error for the 1 unearned run and their 4-run 4th. Kansas City scoreless in their half of the 8th. That game moves to the 9th, 8-5 Toronto. Anaheim, the Angels now batting in the bottom of the 3rd, down 2-0 to Tampa Bay. Three 3-0 to Cruz.
Of course, it takes a long time between pitches. In a game like this, it's 7-1.
Cruz never stepping out on him, though. There's ball 4. 2 men on for Mitch Moreland. And their closer, Jose Valverde, now up despite a 6-run lead in the 8th. And Leland will be ready in case Moreland catches hold of one here. Or Napoli after him, for that matter.
Last night he took Daniel Schlereth out of the game with a big lead and brought in Joaquin Benoit. And I don't think Leland will be coming out right here unless he wants to deliver a stern message without taking the ball. Let's see. Looks like more of a message right here.
Boy, and to the point, too. That was just time for a few words. But apparently that's all that should be needed here. Maybe something on the order of throw strike, son. Babe Ruth is dead.
Probably something, a variation of that theme.
Well, Moreland, the first batter Percy faced, that he singled off him on an 0-2 pitch, going with an outside pitch to the opposite field. And lays off that breaking ball outside. Mitch now has hit in 12 of his last 13 games. Batting average up 41 points over that span to .311, 9th in the league. It's a pop-up here, but it will come back into the seats. Avila and Worth both giving chase. A ball and a strike. Tigers broke it open with 4 runs in the 4th inning. 3 scoring after the apparent missed call by Ed Hickox on what would have been strike 3 swinging to Austin Jackson. He said it hit the dirt. Replay showed it didn't. Tigers then immediately got a 2-run single from Jackson.
Dave, I want to send some best wishes to a fan who was right behind the Tiger dugout early in the ball game and got hit by a line shot in the leg. And I looked down there and they were administering ice to his leg. It turns out that he had to go to the hospital. He's got a couple broken bones in his leg. His name is Richie Neerling. He's a member over at the Lakewood Country Club, good friend of our producer Kurt Dykert. So Richie, I don't know if you're watching the game right now, but sorry that you came to the game and had that happen, and hope your leg gets better soon.
Yeah, he was the gentleman that we saw standing up after that. We thought hopefully the only thing that happened was he apparently spilled his drink, but obviously there's a lot more to it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw them putting the ice on his leg. Turned out 2 broken bones. That's too bad.
Well, hope he gets patched up and back out here again very soon. Called strike 3. 3rd strikeout for Percy, and the Rangers leave 2. We go to the 9th. Tigers 7, Texas 1. Favorite seats through the Rangers. Head to StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Texas Rangers, where you'll find a great selection of seats for every game. Dave Barnett and Tom Grieve into the 9th inning, and Yoshi Tateyama will try and take it the rest of the way for the Rangers, on for the 6th time this year. Seven to the 3rd innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 1 of which was unearned.
And no walks. He's got great command of his 87-mile-an-hour sinker. Throws a curveball to right-hand hitters, a changeup to left-hand hitters. Got a good idea what he's doing out there. He's not overpowering, not blessed with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. But he's pitched in a lot of close games in Japan. Brings a lot of experience to the job now. Has a knack for getting hitters out.
35-year-old native of Osaka, Japan. 5 years with Nippon. The last 7 with Hokkaido. And a career ERA of 3.09 over there. Pitched in 301 games, all but 7 out of the bullpen. Walked only 72 batters in all that time.
It just drops that changeup in there. Looks almost like an ephus pitch. A lot of movement on it, though. It really drops.
Really has the same effect.
Almost looks like a curveball that goes straight down.
Avila, one of 7 Tigers with multi-hit games. Double in the second, single and scored in the fourth. Struck out against Lowe. Mark Lowe, an inning and 2/3 tonight. A run on 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, did not walk a batter. And that one is fair and in the right field corner. It's a 3-hit, 2-double night for Alex Avila. Top hitting catcher in the American League, having a big night.
Well, last year in the big leagues, it was his first full season. He only hit .228, but he's a much improved player this year. Instead of being platooned or playing infrequently, he's playing every day now. Started tonight against a left-hand pitcher, having an outstanding season.
And that is now a season high 19 hits allowed by Ranger pitching tonight. Ramon Santiago replaced Ryan Rayburn in the 7th inning at second base. Rayburn was 2 for 4, drove in 2, scored 1. Last night 13 runs, 18 hits. Tonight 7 runs on 19 hits for the Tigers. Over half their hits last night were for extra bases, 10 of them. 5 tonight. Santiago grounds out to Kinsler, but advances Avila to third there with 1 out. And Danny Worth, who is 1 for 3 with a walk, will step up. Cardinals got a run of the 9th. Astros batting bottom of the 9th, trailing 7-3 down at Minute Maid Park. Royals batting bottom of the 9th at Kauffman Stadium, trailing Toronto 8-5. Brewers batting bottom of the 9th at Miller Park, and they trail the Mets 2-1. The other game still going. Colorado and the Padres still scoreless. Bottom of the 5th in San Diego. Washington has tied the Giants 1-1. San Francisco batting bottom of the 3rd. Tampa Bay adding another run in the 4th inning, still batting at Anaheim, now leading 3-0 over the Angels. Those have 3 runs on 8 hits against Danny Herron to that game. Angels only 3 against young Alex Cobb.
Alex Cobb looked like he's a promising starter. Tampa Bay has a knack for growing their own. Their whole rotation is a homegrown rotation, and they've still got some excellent starting pitching prospects in the minor leagues. They had 10 picks in the draft, early in the draft, so they're going to replenish their farm system. Have some chips to trade over the next few years.
Well, the Rangers saw him make just his 2nd major league start last week. Went 6 1/3, 3 runs on 4 hits. Facing the Angels for the 2nd time. May 1st, they got to him for 4 runs and 4 1/3. Seems to have figured some stuff out about them since then. That one off the end of the bat. Hamilton started back, now has to come in to grab out number 2. Too shallow for Avila to come home from third. 2 outs. Austin Jackson will bat for the 6th time tonight, looking for his 3rd hit. And out in the Detroit bullpen, Jose Valverde has sat down since Percy was able to get through the 8th. Still leading by 6, and left-hander Daniel Schlereth, who the Rangers saw in the 9th last night but unable to finish the game. They'll get another shot tonight, it looks like. Jackson tonight, 2-run single and scored in the 4th. After that apparent missed call on strike 3 by Ed Hickok, singled again in the 6th. That struck out twice as well. In there, 1-2 in the Ranger 9th. Napoli, Blanco, and Kinsler, the scheduled hitters. 8, 9, and 1. Eight hits tonight by the Rangers. 5 of those by Kinsler and Murphy. Murphy with his 2nd straight 3-hit performance. That one falls in front of David out there, and Austin Jackson, with his 3rd hit, gets his 3rd run batted in. Up from 14 to 17 tonight. Avila scores after his leadoff double, the first 20-hit game against Ranger pitching since September 1st, 2008 against Seattle.
That's a lot of hits in the last 2 nights for the Tigers. Like every time they swing the bat, something falls in for a base hit. They're hot right now.
Austin Jackson back-to-back 3-hit games here. Casper Wells already has 3, including 2 doubles. One of which brought in Jackson in the 4th. After his 1-out double in the 8th, he scored, singled in by Miguel Cabrera against Mark Lowe. So the Tigers have scored against all 4 Ranger pitchers tonight. Hamilton going back for this one. But that does it in the Tiger 9th. A run on 2 hits, a man left. Napoli, Blanco, and Kinsler, with the Rangers trailing now by 7. on Fox Sports Southwest. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. By the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. By Citibank. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Check out the Ford F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, for the second straight night, Jim Leland calling on Daniel Schlereth, the young left-hander, acquired in the three-team trade with Arizona, the Yankees, to try and finish the game up. Last night he was unable to do so. He began by striking out Andy Chavez, then walked Ian Kinsler. This was with a 13-7 lead. He struck out Elvis Andrus, but then walked Josh Hamilton, and Joaquin Benoit came on to strike out Michael Young, and Benoit finally ended the game. But Schlereth back on the horse to face the Rangers' 8, 9, and 1 hitters. David Percy working 2 scoreless innings, allowing 2 base hits, striking out 3, walking 2. This game right now would stand as just the 6th game that the Rangers have lost out of the 19 in which Mike Napoli has been the starting catcher. And one of the very few when a whole lot of runs have been scored. His catcher's ERA has been stupendous, down below 2.5 until tonight.
It's hard to see these 2 games coming the way the team played on the road trip.
No kidding.
If anything, you would think coming back home, where the Rangers have enjoyed a lot of success, would have been the exact opposite. But the Tigers were the ones came in swinging the bats.
Well, paper hasn't much so far, but maybe it will tomorrow night. Alexi Ogando 6-0 against 1-5 Phil Koch. Koch with a better ERA than you would expect with that record, 3.81.
Yeah, when you look at Koch's line, all his numbers look pretty good. The only thing that doesn't factor in, doesn't look right, is the 1-loss record.
Leland will be ready in case wildness again strikes Schlereth, with his fellow lefty Adam Wilk getting loose. Might have been ball 4. Instead, a skyscraper high fly ball. Austin Jackson has out number 1. That brings up Blanco. 0 for 3 at the plate with a strikeout, 2 sparkling plays in the field at shortstop, filling in for Elvis Andrus. I don't know if this is good news or bad news, Tom, but apparently Matt Harrison got through his 4 innings with no problems from the kidney stone, but maybe he'd rather have gone ahead and passed and just been done with it.
Well, I'm sure he's feeling that way. I would think that would just be so nerve-wracking, having that hanging over your head, not knowing when it's coming. I'm sure he's thinking, let's have it happen, get it over with so I can get on with it. It's got to be a very discomforting thing for him.
Ron Washington has been there talking before the game about his experience, still a third base coach for the A's in 2006. And he was carried out on a stretcher from their clubhouse in the spring. And he was hearing it from the A's players, too, because he was always telling them mind over matter. Anybody that was hurt in the A's clubhouse, and they heard from Wash, mind over matter. So what do you think he heard from the players?
Yeah, if that's your message, you're going to get it when it's your turn.
Well, it's a little different when you're talking about a kidney stone, for crying out loud.
Debilitating pain.
But that was the last game of spring training in 06. Made it up to Oakland. He was treated there. And what he took away from that was he quit taking salt pills. I wonder where anybody was still taking salt tablets.
He shouldn't have been taking them anyway. They got rid of salt pills a long time ago. Got rid of salt pills 30 years ago.
Peralta charging and in time for out number 2. Blanco 0 for 4. Ian Kinsler now with a shot at another 3-hit night. Scored the Lone Ranger run after a leadoff single in the 6th and his 12th stolen base. Murphy singled in the 3rd. He came home on a little dribbler off the bat of Hamilton. Singled in the 3rd, walked on 4 pitches in the 7th. So we were talking last night about one of the bright spots for the Rangers, the return to form of Kinsler returning home. That's really the only bright spot again tonight, other than another 3-hit game for David Murphy. Ranger power hitters completely held in check by the ground ball machine that was Rick Porcello for 6 innings.
Yeah, when you look at Ian's line, he's had 38 walks now and 26 strikeouts. Far more walks than strikeouts. Walks put him in the top 5 in the league as far as bases on balls. That's why his on-base percentage is respectable.
Takes a close pitch there for a ball. 2 balls and a strike.
So as the leadoff hitter, he's doing a lot of the things the leadoff hitter needs to do. See a lot of pitches, work the count, get on base with a walk. His hitting is going to come around. But in the meantime, he's doing all the things he needs to do to be an excellent leadoff hitter.
Daniel Schlereth may be even slower than David Percy. You'd hate to see him in a tie game. Dirks chasing this one back to the wall, and he makes the catch, and that will do it tonight for another big win for the Detroit Tigers. Schlereth able to finish this one off in 1-2-3 fashion. And the Tigers with 8 runs at a season high, 20 hits allowed by Ranger pitching. 1 run on 8 hits, and there are 9 left for the Rangers in front of 35,165 on a thirsty Tuesday fireworks night.